it's rolling. What were we saying about Holly Willoughby's food?
Great big massive jugs. Welcome to episode 2 of our M535 build series. What's the plan for today? We're going to get the car in the workshop and actually get the engine pulled, and then from there we'll be taking it apart and seeing what we've got. So let's start by grabbing the keys and going to get her.
E28. Perfect.
So the E28 is now on the ramp, and we're going to have a little look underneath to see what exactly we find. It's not quite as nice as we thought it was going to be, in all honesty, but we should be able to change that pretty soon. Right, what do we got, Brad? You put it on the ramp, you found it, put it up in the air.
Obviously a split gator here. It's obviously not great because obviously going to let in dirt. Notice the radiator's starting to flare up a little bit, look a bit tatties, and obviously a car with like this looking as clean at the top, we'd probably recommend as a new radiator. Obviously got quite a bit of an oil leaking coming from the engine. We've got oil sitting here on the power steering pump, but it's obviously not power steering oil, that's actually engine oil because of how obviously dirty it is. Got just
tell me about that manifold, Brad. Pretty funky.
Yeah, it's obviously a tubular manifold, but it's got, which is a bit different, it's got one of the obviously headers, some people call them, coming underneath the engine leg itself, or the engine support, whatever they're called.
Funky.
I'm trying to think, yeah. Obviously it's different to a lot of BMs, it's got a steering box instead of a steering rack.
So does this run a whirly boy?
No, this doesn't run a whirly boy, this is NA power, which is naturally aspirated, which...
I think the only whirly boy is probably the steering wheel or the steering box, isn't there?
Yeah. No, this hasn't got a whirly boy, which is, yeah, better, because everything fits in the engine bay.
Yeah.
Obviously it's had quite a bit of money spent, you can see you've got new lower arms here, obviously rose jointed drop links. BC Racing suspension, but I guess this is for bump steer, to correct bump steer. I guess that's why they're spaced out.
More roll centre.
More roll centre.
You got spherical joints in here.
Yeah, it's quite nice. I mean, the exhaust system is obviously quite nice quality, made out of stainless steel, but it doesn't fit the best at the back when we come down to the rear end. It seems to be hitting on the spare wheel well a little bit. So you can just see here, so this obviously needs rectifying. So yeah, we'll obviously have to sort that out, but yeah, just underneath it all needs dropping out, maybe some powder coated parts put in, and just a general tidy up. But yeah, when it's done it'll be nice.
A few suspect repairs as well, haven't we?
Yeah, we're not sure if it's welded or bonded. It's until
definitely
we clean it back.
seam sealed, you can say that.
Yeah, we've been seam sealed.
It's what the rest of the repair above that site really, so we're going to have to delve a bit deeper at some point to have a look at that.
Maybe a handmade, I doubt we'll be able to probably get a genuine shield, so maybe a handmade one to go around the fuel tank from the exhaust system. It's just looking a bit, it's gone crusty.
Oh, I don't know how much confidence I'd have on that towing eye, I'm not going to lie.
No, I don't know if I trust that, especially with the weld seam that goes up into the boot floor.
But that's why the car's here, for us to do our magic touches and make it a hell of a lot better. Right, Brad, what's our plan of attack for taking the engine out? What method are we going to go for?
We'll probably take it out the bottom. The engine bay is absolutely mint, and obviously any time you risk taking the engine out the top, there's always that very slight chance you could scratch it. Obviously we don't want to risk doing that. Also taking out the bottom, it gives us a chance to get all the suspension off in one go, get it all clean, and obviously repainted or powder coated and put back together nicely. So I've drained the fluids out at the moment, just put the sump bung back in or stop it dripping. Radiator's drained, gearbox is obviously coming out, so I'm going to drain that while it's in the car to obviously make it easier. Power steering I'm going to have to drain as well, because the steering box is actually attached to the cross member, so all that will have to be dropped out, so it just makes it easier to drain it while it's all up in the air and secured still.
What do you reckon, Ben?
E28?
Yeah.
That's quite a big hit, isn't it? Definitely needs some love. Yeah, I really like what he's done with upgrading the suspension components and sort of geometry correction and
Yeah.
stuff. I like to geek out a bit about that, but yeah, those new bits are nice. It needs some work elsewhere that we will get to, but you know, as Brad said, that's why it's here. Just looking forward to getting the engine out. It's a big old lump, and see what we can do with it.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a weight.
Yeah, and getting the bale tidy around it and really making it look good. As you'll have seen in the last sort of section of the video, we had some fun and games getting the M30 apart. The main headache really was this front nut here. They're known for seizing on. Essentially that crank's been hot and cold a load of times, the nut's been hot and cold a load of times. Got a bit of corrosion on there, you know, it's not a new car. So we had a quick go, as you'll have seen Alex sort of TIG welding onto it to get a load of heat into it to then break it off. He then tried to cut into it, absolutely no luck. Still, believe it or not, I just would not budge. So we ended up locally buying a lorry sort of wheel breaker, 1-inch gun, which we thought would be that problem solved. Still didn't budge it, absolutely didn't touch it. So what we ended up doing was basically welding about 7 feet of scaffold pole, was actually a bit of girder really, to the hub of the engine, which is what this is, which is what the nut holds on. And then a trusty, fairly large breaker bar with a huge scaffold pole on the end of it. We had to weld that to the nut, and then we had to weld the socket to this because it broke it. And eventually, with pretty much all of my weight, all of Alex's weight, and quite a bit of swearing, there's a loud crack and off it went. So that's now loose. We can finish off stripping the engine down. All we've got left to do is just to pull the front cover off and get the crank out, have a look at the main bearings. don't think there's any massive reason to worry on them. Doesn't look like there's been any debris really go through the engine or anything like that. And that's kind of that really. In terms of the engine and what we can see so far, there's certainly a little bit of wear in places. It's by no means perfect, but it's not bad for the age of the engine. Did look like the head gasket had really gone quite badly. The oil was very much, partially water. But other than that, we've got a good base to work with. Obviously the plan is that we carry out the machine work that we need to do on here, get it ready for the components we've got, which include forged rods, high compression pistons, we've got a cam for it, a ported head, individual throttle bodies, standalone management, and a load more other little goodies to go with it. So by the time it's done, it should really be a very, very fruity M30. Can't wait to get into it really.